Hello students and namaste everyone. I am Dhaval sir and our today's topic is your social science, that is semester 2 chapter number 4, the Supreme Court of India. Okay, so basically we all know what is the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is the apex court of India. Now what is the meaning of apex court? It is the highest level of the court, right? So whatever decisions or judgment is taken at the Supreme Court is considered to be the final. Okay, no other courts at the lower level has the right to change the decision given by the Supreme Court. Okay, so therefore it is considered as the apex court or the highest level of the court. Now we'll try to understand this whole chapter in detail, and for that, yes, here you can see the different newspaper articles, photo is given, right? Then we need to understand why there is the importance of court. Why is it important, right? So we'll read out the chapter and then we'll try to understand it. Okay, law is required for the safety and welfare of people. You just imagine if there was no law in the nation, no law in the country, right? Then what will happen? All the people in the whole country will do whatever they want to. There will be people fighting against each other for no reason. They will be killing each other, they will be looting each other, right? So uh, nothing can go right without the laws or without the rules and regulations, right? So law is very important. Okay, so law is required for the safety and welfare of people. When any citizen or institution breaks any law, a specific process is followed to address the issue. Okay, so there are many rules and regulations to follow the law, and if the person or the institution, if they don't follow the rules and regulations, they will be strictly punished. Okay, and if such kind of punishment is not there, then people will not follow the law. There is a hierarchy of courts to impart justice in our country. Hierarchy means a systematic formulation, right? We know at the lower level there is a, at the villages there is gram panchayat, then at the district level there is a district court, then if we go higher, then at the state level there is a high court, again if we go at the higher level, it is the Supreme Court at the highest level. Okay, so that is known as hierarchy. It starts with the Taluka court as the lowest court, succeeded by the district court, the high court, and the Supreme Court. So that is what I just informed you. Okay, the judiciary is one of the most important organs of the government. Judiciary is kept independent from the legislature and the executive. Now, what is legislature and what is the executive? Legislature is the organ of the government which does the work of forming of the law, making of law, then amendments. Amendment means changes in the law is done by the legislature, and executive. So executive group organ of the government is the group of people who strictly looks after the people, whether they follow the rules and regulations, law of the country or not. Okay, so that is executive. So, judiciary, that is the court, is kept independent from both this legislature as well as executive. The reason is that because through judiciary we want to impart to the people, right, impartial justice. That means the country doesn't want to do any kind of partiality to the any kind of people, whether it is a person belonging to lower caste or upper caste or anyone, right? But it was, if it was a part of legislature or executive, then there were chances that the judge can get influenced by the person at the higher authority or by the politicians or anyone, right? So in the eyes of law everyone is equal. Okay, even if our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, though he is at the highest level, and if he also does anything wrong, then even the court can punish him also. Or if there is a person who is poor, who is at the lowest level, then also the rules are same for everyone. Okay, so what does independent judiciary mean? So a question is asked, we'll read out. Is there any relation between the courts in your village or city and the Supreme Court located in Delhi? You will get the answer of these questions in this chapter. Okay. Yes, so this is the picture of our Supreme Court, okay, which is situated at Delhi, right? So let me inform you. Whatever decisions, for example, if you are living in a city, right? I belong to Bhavnagar, so if I am having any kind of problem, then I'll go to the district court, and my case will be filed in that court, right? So judgment will also be given in the Bhavnagar district itself. But if I am unsatisfied, if I feel that I am not given the proper judgment, right, then I have the right to go to the higher level of the court for my judgment. So I'll pass on my case to the, I'll make an appeal, and I'll pass on my case to the higher level of the court, that is the High Court. Now again at the High Court, it might be possible that I can get the proper judgment, and if I don't get proper judgment, then even I can go to the highest level of the court, which is the Supreme Court, and whatever decision is taken at the Supreme Court will be the final. No one can change that, right? So there are some examples of such cases in this chapter. We'll study it in detail in the later part of the chapter. Now we'll study what is the role of Supreme Court, right? So the Supreme Court is the highest among all the courts in the nation. It came into existence on 28th January 1950, and it holds the right of conferring the fundamental rights granted to us by the Constitution. So this is a very important line. It holds the right of conferring the fundamental rights granted to us by the Constitution, right? So again, one more important thing to know is that if means even the Supreme Court, right? So Supreme Court is the highest level of the court, but in that also they cannot go against the Constitution. Okay, whatever decisions are given by the judges of the Supreme Court, many a times they refer to the Constitution, and on the basis of that only they can give the judgment. Even they cannot go against the Constitution of our nation. So that is a very important thing to understand. Citizens have the right to file an appeal directly in the Supreme Court if any of his or her fundamental rights has been violated. So as I said in the beginning, that there is a protocol to be followed, or a line to be followed, that first we need to go to the district level court, or if a person is living at the taluka level, then taluka court, district court, high court, and finally at the Supreme Court. Directly we cannot go, but there are some exceptions when a person can directly go to the Supreme Court and appeal. Okay, so here one of the example is given, that is, if a person's fundamental rights have been violated, if the person is not allowed to get or enjoy his fundamental right, then directly he can go to the Supreme Court. Any citizen or the institution can file a petition in the Supreme Court to avail justice in the view of public interest. Okay, so I'll give you an example that recently fire cracking, right? So bursting of fires was banned, right? So for that also some person or institution might have filed a case in the Supreme Court in general interest. General interest means that person personally doesn't have any kind of interest, but he thinks that by bursting the firecrackers there will be a pollution created everywhere, and due to which all the people as well as the animals and birds and everything will suffer a lot. Then that person can directly appeal in the Supreme Court. Okay, which is known as public interest litigation, that is PIL. Okay, and that petition is known as public interest. So it is filed considering the public, general public's interest. Okay, the Supreme Court interprets the constitution and advises the president and the parliament in the same regards. Okay, so as I said that even the Supreme Court, it has to refer to the constitution, they cannot go against the constitution. Okay, it also enjoys the power to review the judgment passed by any of the lower courts. So again, a very important thing. This I've already explained, that if you are staying at a district and you go to the district court and you have appealed, you have filed a case in this district court, and at the district level court, the judgment is given which is against you, and you feel that this judgment given at the district court is not appropriate, then you can go to the higher level of the court for the justice, and that is the high court. And even if at the high court you feel that the judgment is not appropriate, then you can go to the Supreme Court, and at the Supreme Court the judgment may change, right? So that is it. And the Supreme Court has the right to review the judgment given at the lower level courts, and even it has the right to change the decision. Okay, the Supreme Court solves disputes between citizens and the government, between states, and between the center and state. So to understand this, let us study the Save Narmada movement of Gujarat. So, one example is given. We'll see that there was a protest against increasing the height of Narmada Dam above 110 meters near Navagam. Environmentalist organizations and NGOs from Madhya Pradesh and other regions were fighting for the rights of the tribals who would lose their land and habitat forever due to this project. Okay, so that was the case. So the Supreme Court passed a judgment on 8th March 2006 to resolve this conflict between the two states. So many a times there are problems going on between two different states also, or between the state and the union. Okay, so for that also the Supreme Court can take the decision. It started it stated that in accordance with the rising population, it was necessary to carry out this project. Right. So in the court, this thing was presented that as the population is growing continuously, if this dam is not built, then the requirement of the people for drinking water for their domestic purposes, water will not be available, and for that purpose, this dam is necessary to be built on that place. So there was a possibility of a positive development in the environment and benefits to all the living things due to Sardar Sarovar Yojana. Okay, the arid areas of Rajasthan. Arid means dry regions, places having dry climate. Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh would get water, and the expansion of desert could be kept under control by building the dam. So proper rehabilitation of the tribals affected by this project should be given the top priority, and hence their fundamental rights could be protected. So what is rehabilitation, right? So many a times we have heard about the natural calamities like earthquake, tsunami, flood, right? Due to that, many people lose their homes, everything is destroyed. So later on, again for this kind of people, arrangement is made so that they can get their homes back. So such kind of activity is known as rehabilitation activity. Okay, so here also the tribal peoples life was going to get affected because of the Sardar Sarovar Dam. So court ordered the government of Gujarat state to look after the rehabilitation process of the tribal people also, so that their life do not get affected by this dam. Okay, so this is the picture of Sardar Sarovar Dam. Okay, yes, we'll go to the next page. Why is judiciary independent? Okay, so here it is given. Imagine yourself into a situation where a powerful person captures the land belonging to your family, and you go to the court to get your property back, but the system is such that a powerful or influential person can remove or transfer a judge from his or her post. Okay. In such a situation, the judge would favor the powerful person only. So this point we understood in the beginning of the chapter also, that judiciary, why it is why is it important to have it independent? Why is it not connected with the legislature or the executive body? So the reason is this, right? So that it does not get influenced by the powerful person, and impartial justice is given to the people. Okay, so that is the reason. We'll move further. So if the judiciary is deprived of freedom, right, that means the judges and everyone, they are not given powers to give their judgment freely. Okay, then if a powerful or influential people can control the judiciary, there would be no impartial justice. So we can understand this thing very well. If it is controlled by the powerful people, then the people at the lower level will always get exploited. That is the reason why our constitution does not allow such kind of interference. That is why judiciary has been kept independent from legislature and executive. Okay, so I hope so you have understood this. Further, thus, once the judges are appointed in the High Court and the Supreme Court, it becomes very difficult to expel them. Expel means to remove them from their respective positions. Okay, because it is an independent body. If an individual feels that his or her fundamental right is violated, that means they are not given the right, he or she can go to the court. Okay. Further, are the courts at various levels connected with one another? The answer to this question is obviously yes. Yes, they are. To understand this, let us understand the procedure of filing a petition. Okay. If an individual finds the judgment given by the lower court not satisfactory, then he or she can file a petition in the upper court. So, this I have already explained it to you. To understand this concept, let us discuss a case. There were few houses in the southern direction where Ratlam is the place of name of a place. Ratnam municipality had constructed road. Behind these houses was an old road leading to the government college. Near the junction of the old and the new municipality road ran a culvert of dirty water. Okay, stream of dirty water. Industries released dirty water infested with chemicals in this culvert. It had become the source of foul smell and mosquitoes. So we know that if there is a dirty water accumulated, then there are a lot of mosquitoes will breed over there. Slum dwellers answered the natural calls by the sides of this culvert. Natural calls, we all know, that is uh, that is a, toilet and the latrine done by the people was done over there only by the slum dwellers, the people living in the slum areas. The health department had failed in controlling the mosquitoes. The residents had repeatedly written applications to remove the dirt around it, but the health department failed to take care of it too, because we all know that such kind of environment or the place is very risky for the people living around, because due to that means such kind of dirt and everything, there will be a lot of insects and mosquitoes dwelling over there, and because of which the people can even die. As a result, the residents appealed in the taluka court. There is a court of the subdivision magistrate. Now what happened, we'll see further. The magistrate gave the verdict, that is the decision, in the favor of the residents. Okay, so judgment or verdict by the taluka court. What judgment they give is written in the blue color letter, blue color text. I'll read out. Municipality and town improvement trust have failed in their duty of maintaining cleanliness. Both the institutions are ordered to cleanse the place with immediate effect. Within 15 days, the work of a closed drainage should be completed. Now, a good judgment was given by the taluka court, but you just imagine that to build a closed drainage, a 15 days time period is not enough time. Alright, so there somewhere the court has not given the proper judgment. So the municipality people, they were not satisfied with the judgment of the taluka court, and they challenged this decision, that is the verdict, in the Ratlam district court. So this was the taluka court, and then they went to the higher level of court, which was the district court. So we'll see here what the judgment was given by the district court. The judgment of the taluka court is declared to be unfair. What did the district court say? That the judgment of the taluka court is unfair. Okay. So again, the decision went into the favor. First, the decision went into the favor of residents. In the district court, the decision went into the favor of the municipality. Now, the residents felt that they are not being given proper judgment. So the residents uh, challenged the verdict in the High Court. The High Court sustained the verdict of the Taluka Court but added to the verdict. Right? What did the High Court say? For a closed drainage system, 7 months time is given instead of 15. So, High Court said that the Taluka Court has given a proper judgment, but there must be some change in that, and they made a change in that. Instead of 15 days, they gave a time of 7 months to the corporation or municipality to construct a closed drainage. The pits should be filled with soil to stop the water accumulation. We have seen in at our roads also there are so many pits formed, pit holes, right, due to the rain or any other reason. And usually the water gets accumulated and the mosquitoes, they start breeding over there. All work should be completed within 2 years. So there is the construction of closed drainage system, as well as the there is the pits should be covered. So the Ratlam municipality was again unhappy with the verdict, and so it moved to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court sustained means it kept the same decision. It did not change its decision. It sustained the judgment of the Taluka Court and further ordered that the chemicals and the dye plants which were responsible for the pollution should be closed with the joint effort of the municipality and the state government. Right, so this was the verdict or the decision given by the Supreme Court, and which everyone had to follow. Okay, next point is, can any citizen appeal in a court? Right, so we'll understand that we have learned that any citizen can appeal in a court for the protection of his or her fundamental rights, but in reality poor people find it very difficult to go to the court. The legal procedures not only require a lot of money and paperwork, but also it is very time consuming. We all know that the court work is very time consuming, right? And the lawyers, they charge a very heavy fees for their duty, means the professional duty or the work they do. So for a poor person who is illiterate and incurring irregular income, it becomes really tough to go to the court and demand justice, right? So this thing was considered by the court. So keeping this fact in mind, the Supreme Court announced the provision of the public interest litigation, okay, in the year 1980. Now what is public interest litigation? We have already studied earlier in this part of in this chapter only. So with this, the Supreme Court has made an effort that maximum people can reach up to court for justice. Okay, what is public interest litigation? That if any person finds, or if any person feels that something wrong is going in the society, and for the general interest of the public a change should be made, then directly he can go or appeal in the Supreme Court. Okay, that is public interest litigation. Any individual or institution can file a case on behalf of people, right? So according to law, a person can file a case only if his interest is involved. But whenever we talk about general interest or general public interest, then there is an exception. Okay, so in such case, uh, a person can directly go to the court, right? If I'll explain you in the detail, if my enemy is there on the opposite side and some other person has filed against him a case, or that other person who wants to file against him a case doesn't have money, then if I file a case against my enemy, then that thing is wrong, because if I don't have any interest, then I cannot file case against any person. Okay, if any of the fundamental rights are being violated, that is broken, then a citizen can appeal straight in the High Court or the Supreme Court, okay, according to public interest litigation. After 1980, public interest litigation was used to bring justice to many deprived sections of the society, right? That means if a person is not able to go to the court, then other person can file petition in the court and fight for that person or a group of person, okay, who is deprived of proper judgment. For example, public interest litigation were filed to free laborers for inhuman labor or to release the prisoners from the jail in Bihar after their term of punishment was over. So, in this case, it might be possible that though the prisoners living in the jail, their term, for example, they were given term, that means punishment to stay in the jail for 5 years. Even if they have completed 6 years, they are not released from the jail. So such thing is not acceptable, and therefore, for such kind of people also, public interest litigation was filed. Right, so many labor laws were also formed after public interest litigation filed, because earlier the laborers were made to work too much, but they were exploited too much and they were not given enough money for their work. Okay, so that thing were there. Yes. So, one more example of public interest litigation is given. The midday meal program launched in the government aided school too is an outcome of one such public interest litigation. Right. So, some person might have felt that the students who come or who attend the government schools in the villages, they belong to a very poor family, and the government, they themselves had noticed that even if they are giving free of clothes, free of books, no fees is taken for studies, then two students are not coming to the school. Why? Because these children, they don't even get proper food to eat, right? Then how they will come to the school? So for such students, right, petition might be filed, and the court has ordered that those students who come to government aided school, government granted school, should be given uh, a one time meal, right? So after the this scheme started, many farmers and many poor people, they started sending their children to the school just for the purpose of having the meal also, because they were so poor that they just thought that if they'll get one time meal over there, then it was a very great thing for them, right? And with that, along with that, even the students got means they got to study at school also, so there was a lot of benefit to them. Okay, if the Supreme Court finds any public interest litigation regarding fundamental rights and or its implementation inappropriate, then the court may punish the person, group of people or the institution. So if a public interest litigation is filed which is not proper at all, right, which is not filed seriously, then even the court can punish that person. Okay, so that's it about the chapter. So we'll end my lecture over here, and your fourth chapter gets over here. And I thank you everyone for watching my video.